This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. realise about jazz until I was quite a bit older than probably I should have been to know this, was that a big chunk of what people play for kind of chord melody, the heads, like the first parts of a jazz tune that you hear, are not really much improvised. And you start to get a feel for this if you go onto YouTube and maybe try and find a couple of performances from one of your favourite kind of guitar players. Oftentimes, actually even Bill Evans I've found doing exactly the same introduction and kind of rehearsing it. There's big chunks of stuff which are prepared, and I think that makes it a little bit more possible to achieve this stuff and think of it as possible if you don't assume that everything is necessarily improvised in jazz. You know, especially when it comes to this stuff where you're playing chords and melody at the same time. And that's why I think it's also a good idea to kind of develop your own style in this and figure out how to put these things together yourself, as that's what many of the kind of great jazz players try to do and do. I try to do it, not necessarily successfully, but I'll try and show you what I do know. The tab for this will be up on my Patreon once I get a chance to do it, and the backing track, this is my favourite things, and just sort of how I think about playing it and how I'll play it for you slowly, show you what to do. For this tune, I'm thinking about being in the home of G, and so what I start with is kind of a vamp on that E minor kind of idea. So I was playing around here, I think. This part I would just kind of improvise around this idea of E minor, and maybe sprinkle in some A7 over that sound as well, and maybe some kind of E melodic minor. Okay, so then when I come to play the actual melody, here is the thing. I think it's roughly similar to what Jonathan Kreisberg might do. I can't remember if I ripped it directly or not, but we're starting with our 10th fret on the A string, and then 7th fret on the D string, 9th fret on the G string, and that's our basic shape. And you can kind of pick notice that you get the melody there. So you're going to pick the A, D and G string, the G, B and E string, and come down. And then for this note here, we're going to move just these two fingers to the 10th fret and the 9th fret. So quite simple, not necessarily easy to get your hand there in the first place, but other than that, and then for the next part we just hold a C down to start, and that becomes our root note. So that's kind of easy to start with, right? Okay, and now I'm going to show you two ways to play this part. So we'll start with something easy. So we're going to start with the A open, the 5th fret, bar across, and then our melody notes there on the 7th fret, like that. Piatto. And then on the 5th fret, 5, 7, 7. So barring. So like that. And then we jump down to B minor or G in first inversion, like this. So 2, 2, 3, and then 5 at the top. Something like that. With like a normal C. Okay, and then I would rise from the G, A minor 7, G in first inversion, C spread triad, D spread triad, E minor, like that. But I'm keeping the G open for all of that. Then to an F minor 7 flat 5, and then our melody's up there, the 7th fret, back down to the 10th, and then turn that into a B dominant 7. So cool, and then we can start that again. And if you want, you could move the C down to a B to get to the A minor. Okay, now here's a little bit more of a complicated thing that I would do. It might be easiest to learn this from the tab. We're going to keep that same kind of idea. So the melody will be the same, but what I'm going to do is add this kind of counter melody. Okay. And we get that. And then from our G, to our C, then same again, add a G and F sharp there, and then for this part I like to add, that's going to be the line, our counter melody. Something like that. So we start with our F sharp minor 7 flat 5. So all together. Okay, and then for this part, same idea. This part was actually improvised because I forgot to put something together for this. So we're going to go to our major here. The melody remains the same. And what I thought might be quite nice might be this. So we got this kind of idea of an E6 and kind of around that idea. So on the 11th fret, 9, 7. So you might try something. And go to that kind of E, B triad, dyad. Okay, so just add that bit in, then the same again. Okay, and then we want to end up here for the when the dog bites. mids, I think it is. So 7th fret, 9th fret, 8, 7. I'm going to fall the bass line down. And then same F minor 7 flat 5 with a sharp, F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And I thought we could move the bass that way. And we get to a B in first inversion then. So we need to then move these 2 fingers down. And then I thought we go from an E minor to this E flat 7, down to a D minor, so like that. And then from here, from the C, kind of just like a open style C, so 2nd fret, 3rd fret, sorry, and 3rd fret on the B string, open E, down to a B minor, to an A minor. I think the actual recording originally would have been A major, like that. So we go from the 4-3-3 with an open A, and then up to here. So barring across the 10th fret, and then the 12th fret, and move from 12th to the 13th on the B string. Then I quite like the idea of moving up to 4, so from chord 1, 4, 5, 1 in 4 in first inversion. That's how I was sort of tackling it. Hopefully that can give you some ideas for what you could do with that tune. I think some of this tune really does lend itself well to having like a little bit of a moving bass line, or when there's some of the simpler melodies, having a bit of counter melody going on. But don't be afraid to plan that stuff if you want to sound like some of your favourite jazz players. I'm pretty sure some of them, although they might not necessarily explicitly say all the time, you know, this part here is not improvised, there's a whole chunk of stuff within jazz playing which is not improvised, and that's okay. Catch you in another video soon. Patreon will be the place to get the tab, and also the backing track if you want it. Cheers.